Hey folks, this is Tim from Harvest Hills Homestead. I have some time today and I'm checking on my bees. We have 2 hives, and 2 weeks ago when I was checking the hive, I noticed that we had small hive beetle. It's a small black beetle that infests a hive, and you can't really eliminate it altogether. You can't avoid it, but you can treat it. And I haven't treated for mites because I haven't seen any evidence of that, but this is a small hive beetle trap. We can buy a bag of 30 on Amazon, fairly inexpensive. And the middle pocket right there, you put apple cider vinegar. They have also baits you can buy online, but you know, use what you have at home. That's usually the cheapest route to go. And on the both sides, there's 2 pockets on the side where you put vegetable oil. Something without too strong of an aroma. I put canola oil on in there. And so the bees will actually drive them into these little channels, and or they will smell the apple cider vinegar, which is like an attractant for the little beetles, and they'll go in looking for that, and they'll drown in the oil. And so instead of treating the whole colony with pesticide, these little traps are supposed to catch them. This hive is doing really well. As you can see, it's about 60% full on the top. These 2 deeps are going to carry them through the winter. They have gotten them full of honey, brood, and you know, all the soldier bees. So I put one in there already. Again, I don't have a tripod or a holder for my phone, so I'm trying to finagle it in. It should fit in there. If I can't, I might have to put my phone down. Yeah, it doesn't quite fit, and because it's full of oil, I don't want to spill it. Let me see, maybe I can rest it on here. I just put one in on this side. These are great little inventions, but they're all filled with oil, so if you spill it, being clumsy. Again, because I'm a novice with bees, I don't trust myself and the bees, and so I'm a little bit nervous. And so I do have gloves. A lot of beekeepers don't put gloves on and go open their hives without any protection. I'm not there yet, so I'm going to. I've gotten stung quite a few times in the first weeks, and I just want to make sure I'm extra careful. So I'm going to try to make a little bit extra space for that hive. This is a nifty little. It has a hook and it has this flat side, so you can kind of space the frame. So I'm going to try to give it a little bit extra space by shimmying it over. Let's see if that did the trick. Yep, it's made for these hives, so it fits right in between there. And the bees, basically, if a beehive is healthy and there's lots of bees in the hive, they will push away the beetles, and they'll push them into the trap. If there's an empty area, or you know, in the hive, the bees will push the pests away from their resources. And so naturally, if you put that little trap in an area that doesn't have a lot of bees, the beetles get pushed into that area, and so that helps too. I'm not a scientist with bees. I don't have a lot of experience, so I do a lot of YouTubing. This is the top cover, and I'm going to be careful. The possibility of crushing bees is always there because there's a lot of bees. There's thousands and thousands of bees, so you try to be as careful as you can, because bees are what are producing a resource for you and taking care of your homestead. Bees do more for us than we do for them, other than providing honey, which is of course the most famous thing. They make your land produce resources like nothing else. I mean, there's nothing else on the farm that does that much financially for your homestead. I made this little thing myself. It's just a little piece of plywood with a 1/8 by 1/8 mesh nailed onto it. And what I do, I put it on top, and they sell all kind of jigs online that you can use. But why buy stuff if you can make it very, very simply and save money and put the money where you need to? There's 2 little stray bees there. Go away, bee. Oh, they can stay in there. But I put this on top of here so that when I open the feeder chamber, I don't have to mess with a bunch of bees flying in my face. So I can actually walk in here any time of day, lift the cover, which let me show you. Lift the cover and not have to deal with this cover being filled with 10,000 bees. And so the bottom 2 chambers are their brood and the bees hive, their spare honey for the winter. And then I put the top lid, or whatever that lid is called, the separator. Make sure this is level. And then that little jig I made. And then I have these feeder jars that I just made. This is dill pickle. The dill pickle jar, the big one, is the perfect size. So I take small little nail and I puncture little holes through there. I don't know if you can see. And I probably have to wash this because it has some mold on it. I puncture little holes in it, like about 5-6 holes. And I put sugar water in there. So this is my little dandy little beekeeping trailer. You see a little bee there? Already found the sugar water. Hey bee, you like the sugar water? I collected some honey the other day, and I had all that wax that still has quite a bit of honey on it, and I just laid it on a tray in front of the hives, and within an hour they had cleaned up all of the honey off of the wax, which is pretty amazing. So I didn't have any waste. They just put it right back in the winter resource, and then down the road in the spring we can take some more. So I've been feeding them, and they'll empty out one of these jars in about, I don't know, 3 days, 3 or 4 days. Hey bee, I need you to go because I need to close this lid. There you go. I'm gonna have to put this phone down so I can tighten that real quick. Let me see where I can put this down. Here we go. This is the other bee. All right, so I tightened this, pop the air out, sprinkle the honey, the sugar water. The sugar water is 50-50, sugar and half water. It hasn't rained much, so both the water and the sugar. Sprinkle some in there so I make sure it's flowing. Put them upside down. Let me show you my nifty dandy little feeder. There you go. Pickle jars recycled, a little bit of mesh. Now I can open this chamber anytime without protection because I made that little separator. So they come out in there, sit on the mesh, drink the sugar water, and I can actually service this without having all the bees fly in my face. So, nifty little homemade invention. Peace. See you next time.